YouTube. What's up, baby? We back in here once again. This is Q's Insight. I am Cali, and we just gonna keep on going with these Lock and Key reviews, baby, because this is the best series on Netflix thus far, baby. So let's go ahead and dive into this. We on episode 9, entitled Alpha and Omega. So enjoy, baby. This is, like I said, bro. This is Q's Insight, and I'm Cali. I won't steer you wrong. Go watch this now, please. So, and I'm not gonna spoil everything. I'm just gonna point out what I want to point out. There we go. So, we open up in this episode. Tyler and Duncan end up trying to take the Whispering Middle that they found in the last episode, and now they're trying to make a reversal key to the demon key. And that's pretty cool. I like that idea. I really do like that idea. Kenzie ends up talking to the Savini squad and tells them, hey, like, look, we've got to handle this. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate the help, but we've got to handle this. So, just let us do what we got to do, and, everything will be that. Of course, members don't want to do it, especially Scott, but they got no choice, right? So afterwards, we have a scene where Gabe goes to see Kenzie, and Gabe is trying to tell her, like, look, I still care for you and everything like that. I really want you on my side. Like, just come and be with me. You know what I'm saying? We can have it all together. But of course, she doesn't want to do that because she's not evil, and she ends up, just denying his offer. And his whole thing is like, look, like, if you don't come with me on your own accords, I'm gonna do something bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get your mother and I'm gonna do something to her. And you may be thinking that I'm gonna turn her into a follower, but I'm gonna kill her. And there ain't gonna be no follower situation for her. She's just gonna get killed. And so you're gonna have that on your conscience if you don't come with me. I'm gonna give you about a day to figure out what you want to do, and we're gonna leave it at that. So that was that situation, bro. Gabe slash Dodge. They cold, bro. They real cold. So anyways, Josh ends up talking to Jamie about, all his findings. You know what I'm saying? He's finding out that, about his ancestry even more so. He's finding out, like, stuff with Eden, and he's also noticing that the Locke family ends up coming up in the past as well. The Locke family and Josh's family have some type of, problem, obviously, and we know the problem is Captain Gideon and what he did to Peter Locke. So, he's telling her, just has Bodhi ever, like, mentioned any keys and all stuff like that? And of course she knows all about the stuff, but she's just trying to play dumb, like, no, nothing's happened. But ends up being that he wants the Omega key, and the Omega key is to open up, the portal to the demon dimension, I guess you would call it, right? And then we get to the point where, like I said in the last video, Nina's feeling lost. She's not really doing good with Josh, and she's not really connected with her family right now. Like, everybody's doing their own thing, and so she feels lost. She tries to ask Bodhi, like, what's going on, and Bodhi won't tell her. And I thought that was real sad, bro. She kind of broke down and cried. I thought that was sad, man. I thought it was sad, bro. I hope at some point she can be led into everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why not, So basically we go back to Eden, and Eden is trying to get Josh to con his daughter into getting the Omega key for her. And in return, she'll help him out with all the stuff that he's been wanting to know, because she can help out with that, and maybe maybe in return she's talking about, maybe would you want to see your wife again? Because that may be a possibility. So, will he do it or is he not? You know what I'm saying? That's where we're at with that situation. And as they're talking, Javi ends up spying on them and sees it going on. So his whole thing is like, yo, she's not with us anymore. She's against Gabe. She says she's going to do her own thing. So what is she trying to do? So he ends up calling Gabe and tells him, hey, I seen Eden over here with Josh. I don't know what's going on, but obviously something is going on. And so Gabe tells Javi just to kill her. But Eden ends up showing up right behind Javi and is like, yo, like, you spying on me? Like, you know what I'm saying? So ends up happening is she grabs the phone from Javi, talks to Gabe, and Gabe is trying to like ask her, what are you doing and everything like that. And she's just like, you don't want to let me back in the group, so I'm doing things my own way. And then like basically hangs up the phone on Gabe. Then Javi and Gabe get in. I'm sorry, Javi and Eden get into a confrontation, and by the end of it, Eden slices his throat with his hockey shoe. So that was a crazy scene, bro. And then dumped his body because he was trying to leave. He was trying to escape using the anywhere key, and she slit his throat right before he could get in there. He did open up the door, and it was to where he wanted to go, but right before he can get into the door, she slashed his throat and threw his body in there. And then now she has the anywhere key. So what a come up, you know what I'm saying? So then we get we get to the point where Jamie sees Josh with Josh with Eden, and that's a big red flag, right? So what ends up happening is Bodhi goes to Jamie's house to try to kind of figure out what Josh has been doing, and and why does he want the Omega key? So he goes there, but in the midst of him going there, Gabe ends up breaking into Josh's house to find out what Eden is trying to do with Josh. Like, what is their plan? So that was a crazy situation, but they end up hiding in the closet, and then Gabe ends up finding a picture of the portal, the demon portal, like the door. And he's like, like in his head, he's like, why does he have this? So obviously he's like, I think I know where they're at. And then a little after that, Bodhi finds out that, Eden is taking Josh to the Sea of Caves, the Sea Caves. And obviously, they decide to go spy on them, so they do that. Jamie and Bodhi go to the Sea Caves. And then you got Scott going to visit Kenzie, even though he was told like, hey, stay away right now. They in love, you know what I'm saying? You can't blame them, So he goes over there to visit Kenzie, and he actually tells her that I did get, the green light for the school I wanted to go to, but I just didn't go. And she's like, I'm sorry about that, but you deserve to go and you should go. But in the midst of them talking and, just reconnecting, we see that they're next to a fireplace and the ice freezes over there. And we're like, why does this keep on happening? Because earlier in the episode, right before Gabe comes, she's having a cup of coffee and it freezes. And then she goes to the bathroom and then the mirror freezes. And then now she's hanging out with Scott and they're in front of the fireplace and the fire freezes. So we're like, what is going on, bro? Does she have like powers or something? Or is somebody trying to tell her something? And so Scott says, I think you have somebody trying to tell you something. Like, whether it's like a ghost of your family or whatever, like something's going on. So they take it that way. And she says, hey, if whoever it is doing this, show me what you want to show me. So it shows a path of the ice leading up into the top of inside the fireplace. So she goes in there, she starts climbing a little bit, and she finds this belt. And we're like, yo, what is this belt for? And like, who was doing that? Who was trying to give her clues about like where to go and like stuff like that. So, but anyway, she finds the belt, right? And then Nina ends up going to a meeting, and she basically she's hurt right now. She lost her husband a year ago. She's got Josh. Things aren't going right with that. She's got her family, but then she's feeling like her family is just on their own doing their thing, and she feels left out. So she basically spills her guts at the AA meeting, and then after it's over, we see that Officer Mutuku is either the one that invited her to come over there or just he was there. And that's a bad situation because we know that he is now a follower. But at the end of they end up going to coffee. They end up going to go get coffee. So it's like, oh my God, bro, like what is going to happen right now? So Kenzie and Scott end up going to the graveyard where Chamberlain Locke is buried, and she's like, whoever it is trying to help me out, I appreciate it. Please show me like what else you're trying to show me. If it's you, Chamberlain, I can't do anything because I don't have the ghost key anymore. So anyways, birds flock in the air and they kind of go around this little birdhouse or whatever. So Scott and Kenzie, approach the little birdhouse, and then they look inside, and there's a key in there, another key, bro. Like we don't know what it does, but it's another key in here, bro. So and then of course, once they get the key and they leave, we see like the ghost dimension per se, and we see that it was Chamberlain helping her out, and it was Sam as well. So he's helping out too, bro. Sam needs to come back by season 3, bro. He needs his redemption. He's already trying to do his redemption, but Sam needs to come back by season 3, bro. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed seeing him in this season, even though it was only for like 2 episodes and like for a quick minute or so. It just was cool to see him again. Even though he was very, 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 very disrespectful and bad on the first season, it's still cool to see him, right? So Gabe ends up finding out where Eden is, and he sees that Josh is with her, and he's trying to figure out still like what's going on, da 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 da. And then Josh is like, yo, like what do you guys like, why are you here, like what are you guys talking about, da 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 da. So it ends up being that Gabe wants to kill Eden, and in the midst of doing so, he doesn't mind killing Josh. So he uses the crown, brings out the shadow figures. Shadow figures tear up the cave and basically make a big collapse, and there's no way to escape. But before they're able to completely close everything up, what ends up happening is Eden escapes, and then Josh is stuck. As everything is tumbling down as well, the door that blocks the demon portal or whatever it may have been, like either falls down or kind of like opens up a little bit. So there's like a crack in it. So we're like, what does that mean, Or just other people just gonna start shooting out now, or whatever it may be. So then we got Josh being stuck in all the rubble, and then all of a sudden Bodhi and Jamie show up, and they end up helping out Josh, and Bodhi has the strength key, so he's able to remove all the rubble, or enough rubble, so that way Josh can get out. Josh is like, yo, like this little kid, how did he do that? And like, why do you guys know where I'm at, and all stuff like that. And just as he's getting a grasp on the situation, they kind of wait for a second, and then he forgets because he's older, forgets everything, and then they lie to him and say, well, we were all out here, and then I guess a rock fell down and hit you in the head, and like that's why I guess maybe you're confused and you don't remember. He touches his head. He's like, oh yeah, it does hurt, and you guys, I guess you're right. Let's get out of here, guys. So that was cool. That was cool. And then we get to Tyler and Duncan, and they do make the reversal key. It is completed now. Now it's like, let's see if it works. So Duncan and Tyler end up following Jackie, and then they end up finding like the headquarters for where Gabe is with his followers now. And so what ends up happening is Tyler waits for the opportune moment to talk to Jackie. He talks to her, and it's a crazy situation because she remembers everything, even the stuff that she had forgot when she said she didn't want to use the remembrance key. And this is all that this dude wanted. He wanted to have his love, remember everything and share this magical life with her. But by her own choice, she didn't want to do it. But now with her being a follower, she remembers everything. And she's like, isn't this what you wanted? Like, join me, bro, and we can live together. We can be happy. Like, we don't have to fight. Like, and so they end up hugging. And in the midst of them hugging, of course, Tyler brings out the reversal key and gets her, and then turns it, and he reverses the entity out of her, and she's like cool for a second. Everything is good. And I'm like, cool. What I'm saying? Now they don't have to kill nobody. And then all of a sudden she starts crying out black tears, and you're like, yo, like what's going on, bro? And then like she died, bro. Like, she died. So the key works as far as, separating the human from the entity. And in the midst of it, the demon would die and also the human would die. And that's not what they wanted. So it's like, bro, that... I feel bad for Tyler, man. I really do wish that things didn't happen like that, bro. But it did, man. It did. It really did, man. And then we go to like back to the caves through the rubble and stuff like that. That Gabe had caused when he used the crown to make the shadow creatures, pull the rocks down from the ceiling and the walls and stuff like that. And we see a hand pop out, and I was like, yo, who is that? Like, what the heck? And then Dodge comes out, and you're like, yo, that's Ellie. Ellie is ended up escaping from the other realm because, like I said, when Gabe used the shadow creatures to pull all the rocks down and everything like that, it knocked the door that was covering the demon portal world. So she was then able to get out. You know what I'm saying? And so it shows her, her hand come out through the rubble. She like kind of glances around, stuff like that. And then she leaves the caves, and that's kind of how the episode ends, bro. So all in all, bro, strong episode. I definitely loved it. I gotta get this episode a 10 out of 10, man. Not like this show is it's too good, bro. It's too good. Like, I can't get enough of this. I need a season 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8 and a 9 and a 10. And if you want to make movies, let's do it. But I need a season 3. I at least need a season 3. Please, 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 please. And I wouldn't be milking out everything. It just would be a season 3. It deserves a season 3. Just as it deserved a season 2. But if you guys seen the episode, let me know. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Once again, baby, this is Q's Insight. I am Callie. And until next time, baby.